I actually can't believe that I had everything all set up and ready to go this time. If you were here last week, you'll remember I didn't have lighting, I didn't have microphone, I didn't have anything set up, but I was actually ready and prepared today. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Tuesday Office Hours Live, and I'm so inspired. Wow, I just looked over the number of people that are here across all streams is fabulous to me. My preferred way of spending time with you, of course, is on my YouTube channel. So a quick check-in in the chat. If you're out there right now, just let me know. You can see me and hear me. I always, oh yeah, the blur. Everybody's always like, oh, you're so blurry for the first 30 seconds. I think that caused someone to actually drop off just now as I looked at this. They were probably terrified that they got on. They probably came on and they were like, wow, that they were like checking their glasses to see. I've got to always remember to hit that button to get that autofocus going. Welcome aboard and happy Tuesday. And I'm so inspired that you could be here. So we have a lot that we're going to cover today in these office hours because I received some questions throughout the week. And so while we're waiting for people to come on in, I'm just going to pop a quick link into the chat. And so if you want to meet with me, I'll just make it like that. Meet with me. You can do http://Prouty.me. I'm going to pop that in there and pin that to the top of the chat for you guys, and welcome aboard. So the very first thing that we're going to tackle today, the very first question that we're going to tackle today is what happens when you're an entrepreneur or you're a solopreneur or some sort of a service provider and you get people asking you to work for free. And this generally happens when you're just starting out. So you're a new service provider, you're a new entrepreneur, you're a new coach, consultant, whatever. You've just started out and you're starting to get some level of exposure and people are approaching you because they want your services, but you generally start to attract the people who want you to work for them for free. And so what happens when this happens? And this doesn't happen to me. It used to happen to me, years and years ago. It doesn't happen to me anymore. But people will come to you and they'll want what you have, but they won't be willing to pay for it. So first of all, we have to explore why this happens and why people are asking you to work for free, because that is I really don't want to swear when I say this, but when someone asks you to work for free, what they're really saying to you, and you spend all the time you want trying to put the most positive spin on this. There's nothing positive about someone asking you to work for free. That is someone saying that I value what you're going to do for me exactly zero because I'm willing to pay exactly zero for it. That's what somebody says to you when they're asking you to work for free, when they tell you that they can't pay for it. These are, look, there's a lot of people that are going to tell you to try to put a positive spin on this. And these might be people who are struggling and they need your help and benevolence and be nice and all of that. Screw that. You are running a business to make money to support yourself and your family. You have a responsibility to yourself and to your family. And when someone asks you to work for free, you can tell those people in whatever language you want to use to go pound sand. I would use much different language than that, but I don't want to offend anybody. I know some of the people that are on here. I don't want to offend anybody with swearing, but when somebody says they want you to work for free, they're telling you that they place zero value in what you're delivering to them. So get those people out of your lives. That's my general recommendation. So what happens? Somebody says, "Oh, can you work for free?" Do you know you can put it in the You're right. Jackie knows. You're right. So what are they going to say to you when you work for free? What's the first thing that they say to you? Put it in if you're watching this in the replay, put it in the chat. We all know what the very first thing that they say is. The very first thing that they say is, "If you work for me, you're going to get a lot of exposure." What an absolute load. You're not going to get any exposure. You think these people are going to spend time promoting you? They suddenly become your promotional engine because you did something for free? They're not. They're going to take what you gave them, and I'm going to circle back around to this. I'm going to go on a tangent for a second, and I'm going to circle back around to this. But they're going to take what you gave them, and they're going to get exactly zero results from it. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. Hang with me on this. Whatever you do for them for free, they're going to get no results from it whatsoever. So if someone's asking you to work for free, and I promise I'm going to come back to this, and if I don't, remind me in the chat, they're not going to get any results from it if you work for them for free. So the first thing that they're going to say to you is, oh, you're going to get lots of exposure. That's a lie. And what they're trying to do is especially for you new people, you new entrepreneurs, new freelancers, what they're trying to do is paint this beautiful picture that you're going to have a flood of new clients coming to you because of this free work that you did. I want you to rest assured you're going to get no new clients from this. So the moment they say that, I want you to look at them and I want you to laugh and I want you to call them out on it and you say, we both know that's not true, because we both know you're not about to start working for me as my promotional engine. You're not going to go out and start publicizing this. And P.S., let me just say this, if I may. If you're working for them for free, what are they going to do? They're going to go tell all of their colleagues and friends, hey, look, go hire this person. They worked for me for free. That's what's going to happen. They're going to promote that you do work for free, and all you're going to end up doing is more work for free. You might as well spend that time applying for jobs, because that's exactly how you take a business and your business and run it into the ground. Okay, so they're going to say, oh, you come on board and you can work, I'll get you a lot of promotion. Okay, that's a load of S. It's not going to happen, right? Yeah, Jackie, I'm coming to that. I'm coming. You hang with me, Jackie. I'm coming to that. I promise you that. So the first thing is, no, they're not going to promote you. You're not going to get any more business out of it. So you can just call them out on and say, we both know that's not going to happen. Next thing they're going to say is, if you do this for free, then we have another job that's coming up that you might get for pay. And so, that's the lure of the next thing, or the lure of the bigger project. Listen, I have news for you. You set the standard with the first project. And if you did the first project for free, and I'm coming back to why they're not going to get results from it. If you did that first project for free, they're just going to keep stringing you along for the next and the next and the next. There is no bigger project. So when someone says to you, there's a bigger project, if you do this one for free, you'll get this one for pay. They say, okay, well, let's write up the proposal and let's get a signature on that next project right now at this rate. And then I'll throw this one in, you're looking for this one at no charge, but let's get the proposal signed and let's get the money organized for that next bigger project right now. Since you're telling me I'm going to get this, let's get that organized right now, and then we can start working on this first free project. Okay, so when someone says that to you, it's just such a load. You've got to stand your ground. Now, listen, you new entrepreneurs and you new coaches and consultants, and you people who are new in business, I know how tempting it's going to be, because you just want to get the work and you want to get all of that. But all the things that you get from doing the job, that time that you're spending working for someone for free, if you would just take that time and promote yourself, Jackie, you're out. Jackie, you know this. If you just spent that time promoting yourself, like let's imagine somebody asked you to work for free, and it's going to take you 10 hours to do the project. What if you spent those 10 hours promoting yourself? What if you spent those 10 hours calling people? What if you spent those 10 hours working on your social media or your website, or getting to know influencers who are going to truly promote you, or maybe working with a salesperson, or going to networking meetings, or joining a chamber? Those 10 hours could be better spent in so many ways, as opposed to delivering something for free that's ultimately not going to get anyone results. And here's why those people aren't going to get results. I'm going to take a sip. I'm going to stay hydrated. Oh my God, I swallowed wrong. Oh my gosh, you got to remind me. You got to remind me not to drink when I'm so heated up like this. Here's why no one's going to get results. There is a universal law called the law of fair exchange. And in the law of fair exchange, what you give, when you give something, you must receive something back of equal amplitude. It's kind of like the ocean. When one wave goes up, it goes down somewhere else, and then they just keep going back and forth. That is the law of fair exchange. It's a universal law. You cannot avoid it. So when you give something to someone for free, here's what's going to happen. You're never going to get in exchange for that free service the extent to which you delivered. You're never going to get anything back if you're doing it for free. Even if it's good feelings, whatever those are, or promotion, which we know isn't going to happen, or the lure of a bigger project, which is never coming, all of those things, or the experience, even the experience isn't worth the time that you gave to give it for free. So you are placed in a position where you're going to develop feelings of animosity because fair exchange wasn't honored. You gave something and you didn't receive something. So that's a negative feeling. That's a feeling of animosity. And guess what? That's going to permeate your entire business. They aren't going to value what you gave them because they didn't pay for it. And when people don't value something, they don't leverage it. They don't use it. So they're not going to get the results. This is why I have never let someone into any of my training programs for free, because when they come in for free, they will not follow the training. They won't do the training. They won't come to the group coachings. They won't get the results that they're looking for. That's why no one comes into my programs for free. And that should be the same for you, because the law of fair exchange is not honored. You feel crappy about it. They don't value it. No one wins. You new people, don't even think about it when someone asks you to do something for free. And if it's a family member or a friend, learn the lesson right now. We don't work for those people. Do not do work for family members. Do not do work for friends. It just gets so unbelievably messy. You might as well just join us experienced people, Jackie, me, the other people who are watching this, join us later on in your maturity level and stop working for friends and family, especially when you're working for them for free. Boy, I really went on about that for a while. I am very heated about that because so many things happen when you do work for free. And I know people that claim to be experienced who still offer free work. It's that they deliver the worst results you could possibly imagine. And this is even true for if you try to price yourself super, super low in your market to try to get results. So I talk to people all over the world. And I was talking to a consultant who lives in Europe just yesterday, and this consultant charges 2,000 euro for his service. And that is the right amount to charge. I was talking to a similar consultant that lives in another country just a couple of weeks ago. He charges 200 equivalent euro for his service, a tenth of what should be charged, but he's doing it to try to get the business. But what's happening is that law of fair exchange still isn't honored. And people are paying $200 for a $2,000 service. They're not getting the value out of it. He's not getting the value out of it. He feels crappy. They feel crappy. Nobody feels good. So the next point to this, don't just not do things for free. Charge a lot of money for what you do. Charge your worth. Asterisk that by saying, make sure you can get people the results. Listen closely. I'm moving in on the microphone because this is like the secret sauce stuff. Charge people a lot of money, right? But make sure you can get them the results. And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to that person that's watching this that hasn't been sure. Make sure you can get the results and then charge a lot of money for what you do. And the more you charge, the more results people are going to get. It's just the way it works. When people pay more money for something, they're going to get a better result. We've seen studies about this over and over and over again. You take the same exact thing, charge more for one, less for one, people get better results. It happens in products, it happens in services, it happens everywhere. Here's an example you've probably heard of. You take a wine bottle, a really super expensive wine bottle, you put a price tag of like $3,000 on it, and then you take a wine bottle that just has the generic off-the-shelf wine, and you take that same wine from this and you put it in this bottle, and then you put them in front of somebody and they take a glass of each and they drink it. The expensive wine's always going to taste better. People get better results the more they pay for something. It's just the way it works. And it's going to take you too long to figure that out if you try to figure that out on your own. So I'm telling you right now, your clients are going to get better results simply by you charging more. You don't have to change your service. You simply charge more and your clients are going to get better results. It is just the way humans work. I spend hours and hours every day studying how humans function in business and in results and in sales and in marketing. I study this every single day. And we see it over and over again. The more you charge for something, the better results people get. Now, there's a ceiling. You're not going to be able to charge, this ludicrous. Like I can't charge $100,000 for my training, but maybe I can charge 10, or maybe I can charge 5, whatever that upper limit is. Figure that out. So then the follow-on question that came to me this week, and I just spent 15 minutes answering one question with a whole bunch of tangents. I hope you're still with me. And by the way, if you are here live in the replay, now would be a genius time to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get alerts whenever I create a video or go live to help you grow your business. And you'll find that subscribe button somewhere near this video. So the next question that came into me is, it was also about pricing. And it was someone suggesting an alternate charge model, an alternate charging model. So an example of an alternate charging model would be, I'm going to give you 50% of everything that I earn based on the work that you did. So this isn't someone asking you to work for free. This is pay for results is probably a good way of putting it. This is someone who's suggesting pay for results. So I saw this question come in, this person, and they didn't position this with me. They asked about, this person that asked me the question said, someone has approached me with this kind of an arrangement. So the person is someone similar to me. They help people grow businesses, and they had a consultant approach them and say, I don't want to pay you upfront. I want to pay you based on the results you get. So every client I get from you, I'm going to give you 50%. It's like pay for results, it's like a commission kind of model. So this is a very slippery slope, and we have to be very careful here. I want to tell you about all the knobs that you need to turn to make something like this work. And the very first thing that we're going to talk about, and the biggest risk, and if you hear nothing else from this, the biggest risk is when you engage in that kind of a model, you're relying on that person's ability to deliver results. So suddenly your ability to deliver results is no longer the deciding criteria in how much you get paid. It's their ability to deliver results. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine in my world, I help entrepreneurs get more clients. They pay me to teach them how to do that. But if someone hires me and pays me to teach them how to get more clients, and they get a bunch more clients and they suck at their job and they can't deliver results, and all of those clients fire them, that's not my responsibility. I teach how to get the clients. That person that hired me has to be able to deliver the results. And if they can't deliver the results, well, that's a huge problem. So if your compensation is based on their ability to deliver results, you're in for a world of hurt if they can't. And it doesn't matter how much experience they say they have, or in their industry, it's, can they get results right now? And if they can't, people are going to leave them. People aren't going to want to pay them. They're going to get chargebacks. And then how are you going to collect on that? You're not. So your biggest limitation in a model where someone says, I'm going to pay you for results, and those results are me getting clients, and I'm going to give you X percent, whatever that percent is, could be 50, as much as 50%. You're relying on their ability to deliver results. Now take one step back. Just take one step back from that. You're also relying on their ability to sell. So in my case, where if I'm sending clients to someone, if I'm sending prospects to someone and they have to turn them into clients, listen, I'm not closing the deals. They have to close the deals. Well, what if they can't sell? What if they can't even talk about their service in a way that makes people excited about it enough to exchange money with them so that they deliver service? What if they're terrible at that? Now they're not going to get, I could send them 1,000 clients and they're not going to close any of them. How can I possibly get paid if they can't sell? And let's take it one level back from that. What if they're dumb? What if they're an idiot? What if what if they have a personality that people hate? I mean, think about that. There are people out there that have terrible personalities. There are people out there that people can't stand to be around. They hire me and they say, I'm going to give you half of everything I make based on the work that you do. But they have this personality that is off-putting, and people get on a call with them and they're waiting to get off of this thing, or they just abandon, or they don't show up, or they ghost. They're not going to make any money. pay for the results now. You pay me now and go off, and you have to go off and do this. I don't like introducing that kind of risk into revenue generation. I'm in business to honor my abilities. I'm in business to honor my clients and my family. And I can only do that if I'm having an impact, I'm getting people results, and I'm getting paid. But the results stop at, there's a demarc to those results. And if they're an idiot and they have a personality that people hate and they can't close sales, maybe then my next program is how to be a nicer person, how to have that personality that people want to work with, how to be more magnetic, how to have more charisma. Maybe that's the next step if that's what you're observing. But those are the kind of observations you need to make in your business so that you're not faced with those kind of challenges. And those are huge challenges. When people ask for alternate compensation models like that, because there are so many other dependencies. So what happens when somebody asks you for something like that? How do you navigate that? What I would suggest is if they're offering you 50%, let's imagine somebody's offering you 50% based on the results that you got. I would sit down and say to them, well, how much do you expect that to be? How much do you expect you're going to be able to get done in 1 month's time? And what is that amount? And let's say they say, oh, that's going to be $30,000. And so what you're telling me is, if I can deliver these results, you can take those results and turn them into $30,000, and you've offered me 50%, which is $15,000. Do I understand this correctly? And they're going to say, yes, absolutely. And so then you're going to say, okay, well, here's what I think we should do. Let's take that $15,000 that I'm expecting to get based on what you're telling me is realistic. Let's put that into an escrow account somewhere. Okay. And then we're going to have someone who is monitoring that, a non-biased third party who can monitor that. I'm going to deliver results up until this point. You're responsible for taking those results and moving them to this point. And you're telling me that could be $30,000. And so this non-present third party could be a legal arbitrator, could be somebody, especially if the money's high enough, you definitely want to engage somebody like this, somebody in the legal field. They're going to look and say, did Chris deliver these results? And then the person who hired me, did they deliver these results? And they're going to have to make a decision. If the person that's presenting this to you is willing to go forward with that, you're pretty safe. You're in pretty good shape. If they won't go forward with that, if they won't agree to that, because in some ways you're kind of calling them, you're calling a bluff in this case. If they won't go forward with that, then they don't have the belief in themselves that they can actually get the work done. And that is a huge problem, is people not having belief in themselves to be able to solve a problem. And that's a lot of times where people will come to you with alternate compensation models, asking for free service, is because they don't fully believe in themselves that they can get the results. And there's one more point I'm going to make on this, and just hang with me through this. There's one more point I want to make. People will treat you as a consultant, you as a service provider, you as a coach, you, whatever you are, the people that want to hire you are going to treat you the way that their clients and their prospects treat them. So when someone asks you for free service or a reduced rate or something, oh, dog ear that, remind me to tell you about reduced rates. I have a wonderful thing to tell you about reduced rates. I'll remember. But when someone approaches you and they ask you for free service, or they ask you for an alternate compensation model, or they're beating you up, they're constantly beating you up, they're revealing to you how their prospects treat them. And they're showing you how they've been treated in the past. So you have to be very careful. This is where we get into some secret sauce stuff about being a high-performing professional. You have to be very careful. You have to build a force field around you. And when someone comes to you and they start beating you up on price, you have to let that bounce off of you, because we treat people how we're treated. So these people, these prospects that are coming to you and they're beating you up on price, they're beating you up on price because they're constantly beat up on price. I have serviced thousands and thousands of coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs, And I've had one person come to me and complain to me about my training. And when you dig just that one level deeper, what you find is people treat you how they are treated. And when I looked at this dude who complained to me about my training, like the results that I get for people are pretty phenomenal. And the response I get from that, the most common thing people say is that my training is life-changing. But I had this one dude come to me and say that he wasn't having, he didn't think the training was was that great. But what I investigated, and he was a photographer. He was a terrible photographer, videographer. And what I found was that people were spending a lot of time complaining to him about his service. So what's going on here is people treat you how they're treated. People treat you how their clients and their prospects treat them. And so you, as an entrepreneur, especially as a high-performing entrepreneur, you have to put up this force field around you. And when you're not treated with respect, when people ask you to work for free, or they present an alternate compensation model that ultimately benefits them and not you, you have to let that bounce off. And you can't let that become a part of you. Because if you do, then you're going to be going to the people that service you, and you're going to be asking for those same things. So can you commit to me that you're going to do that? When people come to you with these ludicrous offers for you to work for free, or an alternate compensation model, or they're beating you up on price, just literally do what I said earlier. Tell them to go away. Don't even look at it as you could possibly turn this into something positive. Don't even waste your time doing that. Just tell them to get lost. Put up that force field, let those things bounce off, and then make the effort to go out and don't complain about price ever. Don't try to beat people up. Don't try to get a reduced rate. Don't do any of that. Just go out and pay the prices that people ask. Don't complain, and pay them quickly. Because when you do that, you're going to attract more people to you who do the same thing. And that is just, we talked earlier today about the universal law of fair exchange, but that is a universal law as well, is that how you treat others, people are going to treat you. That's sort of the law of vibration, the law of attraction. And really, we're not here to sit cross-legged and start floating and talk about woo-woo laws. But it's so very true that how you treat others, you're going to attract those same people to you. So what does that mean? That means you pay your bills immediately when they come in. That means that you don't complain about price. I bought a truck recently for my wife, a vehicle for my wife to haul my family around. I didn't even negotiate on the price. I just went in and I paid what they were asking, because I want to attract people to me who pay me what I'm asking. So that's how I do it. You tip when you tip service people, tip them incredibly well, and just be very generous. And you're going to attract people to you who are very generous. And what you'll find is if you don't beat people up on price, and if you don't try to get everything for free, and if you're always giving and generous, and you pay things on time, you're going to attract people to you who are exactly like that. And that is, I'm very grateful, who I have right now to serve. The thousands of people that I work with, right now, everyone that's working with me pays on time, and they don't complain about price, and everything works exactly how I want. I never get anyone asking me to work for free or for an alternate compensation model. And then finally, I said I was going to come back to this, which was, what do you do when someone asks you to reduce your rate? Well, generally, when someone's asking you to reduce your rate, you haven't demonstrated enough value. You haven't shown them the value they can get from your service. So they're asking for a discount. And so the easiest response is, if somebody says to me, hey, and by the way, they don't say this, but if someone were to come to me and say, hey, I want to pay you half of what you're asking, my response to them is very simple. Sure. And when I get you results, will you then pay double? And it's at that point that they shut right down, and they generally go away. And that's what you want, is you want those people to go away. It might be wise to get some business cards from your competition, or at least have their information handy. And when someone's treating you like that, say, that doesn't work for the way that I do things in my business, but you might want to contact this person and see. I think they've done that in the past. And then you send the pain in the ass clients to the competition and let them deal with it so that you open up the space to bring in the clients that you want to work with. It's called client selection, my friends, and it only works if you focus and you work on these things. Do not be tempted to work for free, you new people out there. Don't be tempted to work for free. Steer clear of those alternate compensation models because you're relying too heavily on the ability of the person that's doing it, and you don't know their ability. Don't work for family and friends. And that's a quick summary of everything that we've covered today. Please give me a like, please, because it really helps me understand if this is valuable for you. And if you're new, click that subscribe button, turn on those bells for notifications so that I can bring you new training like this every single week. I am here. Couple of quick shout outs. Thanks again, Jackie, for your participation today. I see Eileen Ryan, Get Hired Rapidly, is here checking in with us. That chick is somebody you should definitely check out, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to exit the entrepreneurial world and you need to get a job fast. I cannot believe how fast that woman gets people hired. 100% efficacy rate in what she does. So I want to just express gratitude for all the people who check this out live in the replay. Thanks for being here. I will be back here live next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, which is where I am. All right, guys, you have work to do. Thanks so much for checking this out today. Get back to work.